Oh man, you found a beautiful planet. And whoa, what a view! So the first thing you want to do is throw down your base computer and get started on that epic base you've been meaning to build. Oh man, it's gonna be awesome. And you're sure there's power to be found somewhere, right? No big deal. You'll look for it later. Well, later arrives, and you go on your epic quest to what should have been an easy task of finding an electromagnetic hotspot. You look, and you look, and you look.
You gotta be kidding me. No hotspots around?
Frustration gives way to anger, and you realize you're going to have to build a solar farm, because by the time you finally track down a hotspot, you might as well be on another planet from that base you just built. Aside from deleting your base and moving closer to the hotspot, or littering the landscape with solar power and batteries, allow me to propose another way of thinking about your base location. So let's back up a bit when you decided to throw down your base computer. Don't. That's right. Don't put it down just yet. I know you're excited to get going, but now that you've found a spot to build, survey your surroundings first, and then figure out where you'd like to throw down your base computer. This may seem incredibly obvious, but when I first started playing, I had like 2 or 3 base computers, basically one for every mineral or gas extractor I wanted to get, because they were all so far away. And I didn't really know what the limits were of the base computers or how they really worked. Well, only then did I find out that an EMG built with one base computer can't be used to power another base. This was all kind of confusing to me. Well, I know, sometimes I'm not the brightest crayon in the box. So let's take a step back and look at how base computers work and what parameters you really have when building. By the end of this video, hopefully you'll have a solid understanding of base build limits with regard to the proximity of your base computer. So by now, you've probably figured out that you can only build certain items without having a base computer. But once the computer's down, of course, you have a full range of build options in the Structures menu. But obviously there are limits on how far you can stray from the base computer before that build menu disappears. As a general rule, your distance limit is 300 U from your computer. As you can see here, I'm right on the edge of that limit, and once I hit it, you can see the Structures menu disappear. Likewise, once I walked back into range, the Structures menu returns. So, great. That hotspot you found was like 700 U away. A lot of good that does you, right? Well, allow me to be the bearer of good news. You can actually stretch your base building limits to nearly 1,000 U from your base computer. Notice I did say nearly, that's kind of a CYA, since this is never set in stone. Depending on the terrain, sometimes you can squeeze out close to 1,100 U, and sometimes it cuts you off around 900. But again, for the purposes of this video, we'll just say 1,000 U. So what gives? How do we accomplish this? Well, if you like this video, I'd be happy to show you, so go ahead and like it real quick. I'll wait. Awesome. Okay, thanks for that. So the key to enlarging your base diameter is getting near the edge of your 300 U limit, and then you continue to build outward while standing within that limit. If your building part is green, you can place it as far away as possible. If you're building towards a hotspot, try to extend in a straight line from your base computer. Otherwise, you can use the compass and build in a north or south direction. Most of the time when I do this, I'm building towards a hotspot though. It's helpful to have all your hotspots found ahead of time so you can plot out the best area for your base computer. All you need to do is keep in mind that everything should stay within 1,000 U radius. Once you found a hotspot, you can either put a marker down, a save beacon, or actually nothing at all. Once a hotspot is found, you can return to the default view of your analysis visor. You'll be able to see those hotspots you found. If you have, say, a single hotspot you care about, I like to throw a marker down just because it shows me where I need to go without having to keep going into the visor. You will still have limits on either side of the building parts you've used to extend with. I like to use large walls because they're easy to spot and remove once I've placed the final one furthest away. These limits I refer to as a build lane. That's a Whiskey Barrel original, the build lane.
I don't understand the words you just said.
The build lane is roughly 50 U away on either side of the building part. As long as you stay in the lane, you'll be able to build freely. If you need to widen the build lane, feel free to do so. Just remember you can't stray beyond 50 U from that part. So knowing you can extend your base up to 1000 U out, you've probably already figured out that if a hotspot is say 1800 U away from the spot you want to build your base, you can totally reach it. In this example, I would mark my hotspot and then mark my desired build location and aim to put the base computer down somewhere in the middle of a straight line that would connect the two. So as you can see, on one side I have my future build spot, and on the other I have my hotspot, both comfortably inside my 1000 U maximum radius. The biggest assumption to avoid is that you need to have your base computer somewhere near your base. Hopefully you now have a better understanding on how to strategically plan out the placement of your base computer in relation to whatever hotspots you want to extract from, not the other way around. As always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. This is Taylor with Whiskey Barrel Gaming, signing off.